We're back at Happy Valley on Wednesday night after a week away for an 8-race programme, including the feature race. Comes up as race number 6 on the programme. That is the Manawatu Racing Club Challenge Trophy. A very warm welcome to Racing to Win. I'm Andrew Lejeune, joined in the studio by Paul Lally, our form analyst, and race caller Brett Davis as well. Brett, and no Class 5s this week, Class 4 and above. That's right, yeah. We start off with half the programme Class 4s, and then we move into the stronger races, 3s and 2s. But we haven't been to the Valley for some time, so it'll be a place that's captured by plenty, I would have thought. Wednesday night is back, beautiful. We can go down to the beer garden and watch the racing. I'm sure it'll be a big crowd too. We've got warm weather here in Hong Kong, and it'll be some good racing with the Manawatu Racing Club Challenge Trophy, the feature. It certainly is, yes. There's only 3 more to go, including Wednesday night. Jackpot-wise, Paul, we had a couple of big ones on the weekend. What have we got?
Nothing to report. It's all been won, the money, so we're going to start and hopefully create a few new ones. Jackpots, or well, if you're still live, then obviously that's not what you want to hear. But no, it's a few first starters, still just having a run before the end of the season. You know, getting their opportunity, you know, to have a go. So they're interesting, always interesting runners, especially at Happy Valley. All right, we had the final group races on the weekend at Sha Tin, so that's probably where we'll start looking back on the weekend action with our racing review. Flying Thunder took out the Cup in devastating fashion under Grant van Niekerk. His first group success. We'll have a look at the plate, though, here. And Rise Higher went off a well-backed favourite, carrying top weight as well. So this is a good effort. You just saw him just got his back legs knocked from underneath him there by Riven on his inside, but ran out a pretty ready winner himself. Yeah, he picked himself up nicely, didn't he? He came down the outside and won well. Now, Exultant won this race last year. He went on to lofty heights this season. I know the trainer was very bullish before the race when we interviewed him. And look, he's doing everything right, this horse, and look forward to seeing him next season. Definitely, yeah. And Vincent Hove, 52 winners now for the season. Good to see him with a feature winner there. Grant van Niekerk actually ran second on Seasons Bloom, so he has had a marvellous day. Yeah. Probably the highlight of his season, I would have thought, for Grant, taking out the first Group 3 and then second in this one. But yeah, Rise High for that man, Casper Founds, who's always got a smile. And good to see him with a nice horse in the stable because, you know, he's had Southern Legend there for a while and now he's got another one emerging to that level. And internationals in December have been mentioned, all being equal. Yeah, it was great to see Seasons Bloom run a race and Time Warp as well from the front. But in terms of internationals, they've got options as well, 2,000 metres, 24, or even the mile, really. Well, yeah, I heard you mention it on race day, you know, what would be the preferred option, but it's an interesting problem Casper's got because the mile's been good for him so far, but he looks at 2,000 metre and a mile-and-a-half horse as well. So he's up to 124. Flying Thunder got 9, makes him a triple figure horse. Voyage Warrior was a big winner, back in the winner's enclosure as well. Yeah, he won really nicely, didn't he? And it was just a track gallop really for him. And I thought it was a really good win from Chicken Dance as well. Yeah. So he's got a good future. I must admit, I thought the win from Charizard in the last was enormous too. Yeah, he won well. Happy Fun ran a game race out in front. He did a power of work, but Charizard, just emerging from the pack, has taken another step. I did read in the press as well that Chicken Dance was named by the owner's grandchildren. Yeah, I read that, yeah. That's where it came from. Yeah, because and you can't say no to the grandkids, so that's what they wanted to call it. Because in theory, the Chicken Dance goes faster and faster, and they want the horse to do the same thing. So you've looked into this one. Well, it is out of Mallard as well, so there's a few tie-up. Yeah, it's good to see a name with a bit of a theme. There you go. Well done. All right, it was a winner and a good one at that. Those are the big winners on the weekend, so we can find some more, though, with our horses to follow. All right, not long left of the season, Paul. What do you got for us, though? Will we see him out again this year, do you reckon? Yours? Sorry, it'll be interesting to see if he does or not. I thought it was a really good run from this horse. You can see he was last turning for home in the blue and white checks, and he weaved his way through. And his best part of this whole bit, I thought, was the last 100 metres. Now, he steps up to 1,600. When he was over in Europe, he was running over a lot longer, 2,000. So if he gets a 2,200 metre race or even 2,000 metre race, I think you'll see the best of this horse. Even 1,800, to be fair, the way he finished off. You can see he was just on the heels. It was a bit of a bunch finish. And I just really like this last little piece with him. I thought he hit the line strongly. Yeah, I think he might be in on Monday too. And Casper's Yard just, you know, really firing at the moment. He was looking for a treble there, and obviously Sari from his yard too. So, what do you got, Brett? I've got something from the Millard yard, Andrew. Super 18. This is an ISG who's quite well exposed, but I've noted the last 3 starts they've drawn wide barriers, and Tony has instructed the owners to, or the jockey rather, to
take the horse back. Through the early stages of his career, probably his first dozen starts, he was more of a jump-run type. So they're trying to extract a little bit more, and with the wider gates, they've tried the option of quiet and finishing hard, and it's working. I think his last 3 runs have all been good. One of them was at the Valley. That was a big run there behind the all-conquering Chicken Dance, who we've spoken about. And I think with that format in line, sitting back and closing off, he can probably go higher in the reigning Super 18. All
right, horse out of the last race for me, having his first start here in Hong Kong. Fenrir was his name. Went off at over 120 to 1 for this. He's a dual winner out of the UK. Jamie Osborne trained him there. Voyager Blue was his name when he raced there. He won at Redcar on the Poly track at Chelmsford as well. He's got good form, placed on the Tapeta twice as well. So maybe he could be a horse for the all-weather as well. But this is Charizard winning the race. It just took off at this point. Did enormously well to cut down Happy Fun. But just to say, the price he was, the way he's finished off there, the trials hadn't been that great either coming into the race, so I think there might be something to work with.
Yeah, it was a stop-start sort of run from him, wasn't it? But finding the line well.
I think Limitless came from him as well, didn't he?
Did Jamie Osborne? Yeah, absolutely.
Your faves there, Limitless.
All right, there you go. Fenrir for me. Suspensions out of the meeting. Well, Grant Van Niekerk had a fantastic day, but it was tempered slightly by a $35,000 fine and a 2-day suspension out of the opening race. Nice Fandango actually held on to win as well.
He got that early, and then all the wins and everything came after, so he certainly made up for it.
All right, there you go. We're up to date as far as the weekend is concerned. As we start looking ahead to Happy Valley then on a Wednesday night. So this Happy Valley, then 2 more to go from the city circuits as we start off with a Class 4 over the 1,000 metres with Chow Chow dropping into Class 4, I should say, for the very first time. Eptimum, 4th last time out at Sha Tin. He drops down in trip. Gentle Breeze, blinkers on for the first time. 2 debutants here, Aurora Pegasus for Casper Founds and Hardly Swears for Jimmy Ting. Flying Monkey likes to roll. He's got an outside gate here, barrier 12. Very Sweet Orange, last start winner in Class 5, comes up in class. He'll probably make the running from barrier 3, and Gowton of Garrow, 3rd last time out over the 1,200 metres. As behind Jumbo Prize, drops in trip. Aurora Pegasus, one of the debutants, the Ifraj 4-year-old. That's been up at Chongfa. He came back on the 3rd of June.
Now, of the newcomers, Hardly Swears can probably be in the first half a dozen, but Very Sweet Orange, a very fast horse. He led all the way last start over the 1,000. Chow Chow's drawn low, he drops in grade. Flying Monkey's a pace horse, Gowton of Garrow. Gentle Breeze has got blinkers on for the first time, so you'd think he'd try and be a little closer too. If you want to go right back through the system, Eptimum was a horse in his days overseas that used to have pace, but he hasn't flattered at all here in Hong Kong so far.
Blinkers will go on Gentle Breeze for the first time and back down here to the 1,000 metres. You can see him doing his work. He's been up for a while. He's had plenty of runs now this season. This will be his 12th, so he's a pretty fit horse, and he goes nicely. Now, I thought I'd just show the first starters. The first one we're going to see here is Aurora Pegasus. Now, he's on the far side just working with the Boost Star. We've seen a bit of him this season. The horse does go nicely. You can't really see him, but you get an idea of the pace they're working there with this horse. And Hardly Swears. He goes nicely, this horse. He's had 3 trials to bring him into this race. He's under a really good hold to finish off, and he looks good. Aurora Pegasus is 1,014 pounds, so he's not much to him.
All right, we'll come back and have a look at the 2 debutants in a moment. We'll start off with Gentle Breeze with the blinkers on for the first time. Matthew Chadwick from barrier 4. His only win to date has been course and distance.
Yep, it's been in this class also, and as Paul mentioned, the blinkers go back on. I thought this run was quite good at Sha Tin. His only win has come at the Valley, and I think this is a good placement from Ricky Yu. Matthew Chadwick knows the horse quite well. I think he's a genuine winning chance.
Yeah, I've got him in there as well. I think he's a good chance, this horse. And yeah, as you say, he's got a few of the ducks lining up here with the 1,000 metres and those blinkers going on.
Yeah, I think he wants a strong pace. Something to aim at. That is Gentle Breeze. Very Sweet Orange may well be favourite on the back of this good win, but it was in Class 5, dictated from the front, but he might get his own way again.
He will. I think he'll probably lead. He's obviously got a lot less weight to carry, and Joe was able to extract a win from him here in Class 5, but he's had 14 goes in Class 4, had a couple of seconds. It's not beyond him to lift the bar and win in this grade. It's not a strong Class 4, so he's a definite chance of doing so.
Yeah, I've got him in there as well. I thought it was a strong win. And again, he looks like 1,000 metres is ideal for him.
Yeah.
All right, the 2 debutants then. We'll start with Aurora Pegasus, who has had a trial here at Happy Valley. And the horse winning this trial is Classic Unicorn. I think it won very impressively. But Aurora Pegasus just tipping away out the back.
Yeah, you can see he does run on for 4th here, this horse. He's had the 2 trials, 1,014 pounds. He's by Ifrage, this horse. Interesting jockey booking of Zach Purton aboard. Barrier 10 might make it awkward on debut.
You know, it looks fair, that trial, but it's worth pointing out they sizzled along. That's one of the quickest trials I've seen over that distance at Happy Valley ever. The horse that won it has come out and obviously performed very, very well. So that trial might look and end up being a lot stronger than potentially it looks, you know, when you watch it.
All right, Hardly Swears. 2 trials on the order, 1 on the turf. I thought the turf trial was actually better than these, but this is his most recent effort.
Yeah, Hardly Swears, named after Paul when he watches New Zealand play cricket, I think.
Going well, that's right.
I think of the 2, I'm going to sit on the fence with both of them, but I think they both create a bit of interest because this is not a strong class 4 at all.
Hood goes on him, and he's got a bit of draw barrier too. So of the 2 newcomers, he'd probably be the one I would favour. But I like Brett. I haven't got them in.
He's double the price of Aurora Pegasus. Very Sweet Orange, favourite to go back to back.
Yeah, I've got him in there for second. I'll make my long shot in this race. Chow Chow. He arrived here on a rating of 75. He's now down to a rating of 60. He's got barrier 1. He's been downgraded. Now he's won at Moonee Valley and Caulfield, and both those tracks are quite tight. So with being here at Happy Valley, I think it will suit the horse from barrier 1. To beat the Class 5 winner, Very Sweet Orange, Gentle Breeze with those blinkers on. Alios, he's only had limited starts this horse, only 2 in fact. But say, look, he's been, I thought his last start and his track work showed there is a little bit of improvement with him. But 1-11-3-8, happy to go 1 each way.
All right, I'm going to side with the 10 here. I thought he ran a terrific race last start. Demon's Rock from the David Hall yard. Vincent Ho will take the ride. He was aboard. They drew 11. Had a torrid trip in the race won by Snapfit, who's unbeaten. I think from gate 5 he can posse up, and if he reproduces the same effort, he'll go pretty close. Very Sweet Orange will be the one they have to get past. Gentle Breeze, ideal course and distance, blinkers on, good barrier. I threw in Travel Day Took because he'll get a nice tempo to run at here. But the newcomers certainly create a little bit of interest. I haven't got them in, but I wouldn't be surprised if they are there. It's not a strong race at all.
All right, I've got the same trio as you, Brett, just a slightly different order, but I did include Harley Swears. I thought his first trial at Shartin down the straight actually looked all right. So,
and of the other one, Aurora Pegasus, he looks like he probably wants further, but there's something there, I think, with him.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be staying on. Past some beaten horses late. All right, that's the first Class 4 over 1,000 metres. Next up for us, race number 2, Class 4 again, but the 1650.